We are here as partners, we are here as friends to unveil two things. One, we are here to unveil what I call advanced language model, which is an AI engine. Many of you are used to large language models. You know most of them. I will not attempt to use this opportunity to list them for you. But we are also here to dedicate the first Africa AI factory. And very soon we'll be able to actually see what we are actually calling the first Africa AI factory. And all of this is to create jobs for our youth, for our young people in Kenya, for our young people in Africa, and for our young people around the world. That is really the essence of what we are unveiling today. We have partners here that are working together to unveil, to bring to life what we are unveiling today. We are sitting in Nakuru, and somebody might ask, why Nakuru City? Why are you unveiling a global product, a global solution, a global innovation in Nakuru? And I'll ask you, why not? It is an opportunity that we have because you well know that one of the most challenging issues we have around the world is to what extent and how can we create opportunity for our young people to engage. And here we are with new and emerging technology that has swept the global scene called artificial intelligence. And if you don't do anything about it, if you don't work hard toward it, you will definitely be left behind. And we have made a decision not to be left behind in Nakuru, not to be left behind in Kenya, not to be left behind in Africa, and that is why we're unveiling global solutions, global innovations here today. You might need to know who we have here before I get into the substance of the innovations that we are unveiling today. We have the chairman of Niche AI Labs. That is the lab that we are today converting to be the Africa AI Center, AI Factory. That is the lab that you'll be able to actually see and tell the world what we've been able to do. This lab has been around for a few years, but we've now basically upgraded it to be what you need to know, that is the first Africa AI factory that will create jobs for young people. That is the chairman, Mr. Zabro. We have the founder of AI Lab, Niche AI Labs, Mr. Dan Jirili, who we are actually partnered with. Personally, I've worked with Dan Jirili for over 20 years in this industry. We have board members here. We only know her as Mom, but we have Sam, who is also a member of the board of Niche. And we have Jane that works with the communication department at Niche. There are a few other people that I need to introduce you to. We have Joe, who has been the lead technical person at Niche that we worked with together as we were developing this innovation. Joe sits here in Nakuru, and so if you want to continue to ask me why Nakuru, we have one of the best brains, one of the best engineers that we've been working together with on this particular project for almost close to a year now. Our digital marketing lead, that is Angela, he is also sitting here. You can see that the Gen Zs, the young people, are actually driving this innovation. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to introduce Simba AI. Simba AI has a footprint in the US, in New York. Simba AI has a footprint in Kenya. I'm sitting here as one of the co-founders of Simba AI. My partner here, Randy Proctor, that you know a little bit more about, is joined us from the US. And we have a big team that has been working on this. Largely engineers, web developers, and developers from Kenya. And Randy has been leading a team of technical people who have been working on this particular project. So he will be able to actually share with you some of the technical nuances of Simba AI. But before I go far, I want to thank all of you. It is rare that in a morning such as this, that we would see, I can see almost 8 cameras sitting here. That shows me that all of you guys are dedicated and are committed to seeing how best we can address this issue of creating jobs for young people. But not only that, but you are the first team, you are the first door, and you are the first window for the world to actually see an innovation that has been developed in partnership and in collaboration between the Kenyan or Africa developers and US developers. At the right time, I'll be able to actually introduce to you some of the team members that have been involved in this, but I want to assure you that a good bit of that were and are still our young people in Kenya. How do we want to actually be able to create jobs with Simba AI? How do we want to actually partner with Leash AI Lab to create jobs for our young people? All of you, and if you have not been using the emerging technologies on artificial intelligence, then you're late. Let me also announce to you as very good people that if you don't embrace technology, if you don't embrace AI, and this is not a threat, you'll be out of even the job that you're doing now as the press. That is the reality, and we are here as partners to actually assist each one of you to improve in what you do, because technology is not supposed to replace you. Technology or AI will not replace you. AI will transform your job, and your challenge is to transform with that technology and see how best you can leverage that technology. In the context of creating jobs for our young people, it is important that we recognize that artificial intelligence is not here to make life difficult for us. Anything and everything else that we've been doing will be able to actually transform our digital lifestyle and make anything else that we do much better, more efficient, faster. And when you engage and integrate AI and emerging technologies into the things that you do and everything else that you do, you will find your life alone will, and in my view, should improve. And that is what we want to do with our young people, because our young people should be able to use Simba AI, which is an AI engine, to actually generate and model many of what we call AI agents or AI models. That is part of what we're going to be doing here. Remember that the blood life for artificial intelligence is data. That's crucial. And so what are we doing? We're also setting up what we call an AI data hub here. Even to train our engine that we have trained so far, and you'll be able to actually interact with him, because he's Simba. So you'll be able to interact with Simba. You'll be able to actually go on the platform and be able to interact with it. To train that model, you need data. And so what have we done? We have worked tirelessly together with a team of data scrapers, data processors, and data engineers from Nakuru, sitting in this lab for the last several months to generate data. And we actually have an opportunity to monetize that? Yes, absolutely. So can we get our young people to actually continue to generate data, to continue to scrape data, to continue to process data, and allow our backend engineers to actually clean up that data, tokenize it, and make it available for a host of AI agents, a host of AI models to actually be able to use to train their models. That is possible. Can the youth actually work on that and monetize it and actually get jobs, digital jobs out of that? That is one of the things that we're going to be doing here. And that's part of what sets us apart from many other AI models that have been unveiled. That is why we are actually saying we want to actually be able to create jobs. When we have what Randy and I call a marketplace, and that's going to be able to actually create a platform where these young people, once they've created their AI agents, AI models, they post them, just like you've been seeing apps being created. And that is where we are with this. They will be able to actually use Simba AI to generate AI agents and post those AI agents onto the platform and be able to monetize that. That is one of the ways that we're actually going to be creating jobs. And so we're not just unveiling a chatbot. We're not just unveiling a platform that you're using to ask questions back and forth. But we are unveiling today what I call a powerful innovation that creates an opportunity and creates a platform for our youth to be able to advance in AI. And the beauty of AI is that you don't need a lot of technical knowledge. With Simba AI, the engine will assist you as a young person in Kenya, in Nakuru, in Africa, and around the world, from the comfort of your PC, where you are, to actually be able to generate these AI agents. Because again, that's the direction of this technology. So I wanted to be clear to all of you and to all of us that today we are unveiling version 1 of Simba AI, and we are also presenting to you our great lab, which is going to be the first Africa AI factory. Simba AI is one of a kind. It is, in my view, the first advanced language model. Many of you are used to large language models. There are many of such. But we're moving to the next level. And in just a few weeks, actually a few days, because of the rapid nature of AI, because Simba itself is actually being able to acquire new knowledge, being able to actually critique itself, being able to generate a lot more new information. We are also, in that rapid fashion, accelerating how best we can actually update as many elements of Simba AI that you will continue to interact with. I can tell you that once you start using Simba, you'll not think of anything else. Chairman and co-founder, Simba AI.
To be fast and built to last. The phrases that we have for Simba, the think smarter, think faster, work smarter, that's Simba. Those came from the technology itself as far as what it does. So it does think smarter than, or think faster than most LLMs out there. It runs on CPU instead of GPU, which makes it different on its own. It's able to assist you in your current field of work rather than replacing your job as a state employee. So we've added some features in the coming days to Simba to make it really different. As far as it has a short-term, long-term memory. It has a voice. It has advanced reasoning. It can self-critique. It can learn on its own mistakes. That's what self-critiquing is. And it can make your job a whole lot easier. Our mission statement that we have was generated by Simba. We asked us if you could give us a mission statement based on what you do and how you're built, what would it be? And he gave us the mission statement, and it was perfect. And that's the type of advanced language model that we need. We want to be ahead of technology, not behind. That's going to put young people at the forefront of this emerging technology.
When you attempt to actually use Simba AI, you will find that Simba can translate one item into hundreds of languages, even our local languages. And I want to challenge you, ask Simba to write a poem for you, or write a draft, an essay for you, and translate that essay into as many languages as possible. I'm super, and I think that if a language is not maturely developed in the digital fashion, then Simba will have a bit of a problem with it. But if you generate a poem in Swahili about Nakuru, and ask Simba to translate that poem in English, Simba will. If you ask Simba to translate that poem in Kikuyu, Simba will. If you ask Simba to actually translate that same poem in Kalenjin, Simba will. Simba is having a bit of a challenge translating that poem in Luo. I think there's a bit of a problem for the Luos that are here. We need to figure out how to develop that sort of part of the language so that it has a bit of maturity in the digital space. Simba will translate the same in Chinese, in Japanese, in German, and that is the power of what we actually do have. Some of the work, the digital jobs that Leash AI has been offering our young people in Nakuru and around the country. And you'll be able to see the power of Simba. Some of us will actually be able to demonstrate that for you on the big screen so that you can actually capture that. The Africa AI Lab will be open 24/7. And so if you come here at any time, all the day or night, you will find young people working here in different shifts. This lab can carry close to about 1,000 people on 3 shifts. This Africa AI factory that you see here has the capacity to actually manage over 1,000 young people. And our intention in job creation, as speedily as it might be in the next 3 to 2 years, in the next 2 to 3 years, we want to see a situation whereby at least 1 million jobs for young people is created on the Simba AI platform. Let me open it to some few comments, then we allow you to actually go. And please feel free to introduce yourself and maybe which media house you represent. I have seen 4 hands that are up. We'll allow those 4 to ask those questions, and I can direct those questions to any of our team members here. So let's go this way. Start with you.
Okay, my name is Dr. Andrew from Kabarak University, and I'm really happy that we have an innovation that is made by us, and we are not only consumers, but I'm happy we are creators as well as exporters of innovation. Now my question is regarding Simba. Now there are other LLMs or large language models like Serengeti and Mamba that pretty much are in this space. And I wanted to know how unique is Simba in terms of performance and scalability. That is number one. The other question that I have is now how is Simba collaborating with local communities? For example, we have a project on African Next Voices that we are collecting data in Kalenjin, Maasai, the Luo, and Kikuyu. So how are you collaborating with communities to even get more data, to enhance this Simba AI? Thank you so much.
I will answer the data question. Randy will take the uniqueness of Simba. Yes.
Yes. So you've told us quite a lot about Simba AI, but my question would be, what would be your recommendations in having this Simba AI incorporated in the current curriculum?
Great. Dan, you will answer that question. Did you hear it correctly? Okay, good. Yes. So you need to introduce yourself now.
Sorry, my name is Tichi Josephine, working with TV47.
Thank you.
My name is Francis Uregi, thanks for being here. So I'd like to know, for the purpose of transparency and accountability, what kind of investment are we talking here? How much has a local investment chipped in and a foreign investment? Then when you talk of AI agents, what kind of agents are these? Are these people, what give us your engagement with this? Is it a 3 times 1 year contract? How much do they get for successful AI agent? Then thirdly, cheap AI agent, and I'm not saying Simba is a cheap AI agent, has been accused by the latest report of even fraud in Africa. So what type of measures has Simba AI have you to hold this kind of?
Start with the job question, because that's the easy one. I can confirm to you authoritatively that the jobs that are going to be created by AI as a technology is really unlimited for now. That you can actually authoritatively quote me, because AI is a platform that enables you to, number one, work smarter, be efficient in what you're able to do, generate a lot more products and services. As you can tell, a number of companies that are in the industry know full well that if they don't move into AI, they cannot maintain and create jobs that they need to actually create. And even as a country, and even as a government, we have done well in digitalizing our services. We're going to have to actually move to the next level of integrating AI into a host of those services. And that is not to actually reduce the jobs. That is to actually create an opportunity for our young people to actually create those models and create those agents. And that brings me to the question that the gentleman from Nation was asking. Because of the unlimited nature of what you can do with AI, akin to even you guys as the press, individuals, you can actually ask one of the young people, if you didn't know how to actually use Simba AI to create your own agent, one of the young people to actually create for you your own personal agent, which is actually your digital clone. So imagine how many people do we have in Kenya if we're just to stick to Kenya? 53 million people. If somebody was dedicating him or herself to actually creating individual agents, I'm not just even talking of businesses, because if you go to a business, again, there are unlimited opportunity of creating as many models and as many agents as there are services in that particular company, in that particular university, and the opportunity for now is limitless. And so the idea is to actually embrace this. And one of the things that we also want to do, still to answer the question from the gentleman of NTV, from Nation, the young people here will use Simba to actually train. When they train on how best they can actually develop these models and these agents, they will be able to actually post this on the marketplace. As we sit now, we have not determined how much they're going to be actually selling these agents for. But we are in the process of working out a formula whereby if a young person like Angela has developed an agent and posted on marketplace that we've created being managed by Simba AI, they can now be able to actually monetize it in a rev share, whereby they can take 90% of what comes out of that agent if it is being sold or downloaded, and just for management you keep 10, 15 or whatever percent to actually help on this. It might not be easy to tell you today how much we have already spent in this, how much has been spent in the US or how much has been spent in Africa. Because in some instances, we've had to partner with a host of other goodwill companies. There are instances whereby when we started doing our research and we started developing, there are companies that actually offer space for us. And now that we're now moving into going live, we're going to have to actually pay. So it's not a small figure. But if you want me to actually tell you, one of the things that we were attempting to calculate with Randy, we have spent in excess of $500,000 so far, just on the product itself. But if you, just on the development itself, that is money directly from our pocket. But you would find that we are dealing with several millions of dollars that has gone into this. And so I won't give you the exact figure, but I can tell you that it takes a lot to actually develop this. I mean, from other large language models like that have been out there, the amount of investment that has gone in. And the beauty is that we are not at the place where we want to be. That is why we are still, bringing in additional investment so that we remain ahead of the game. And that is one thing that actually we must do. In terms of fraud, we must protect the youth who are actually going to be creating jobs on this platform, but also protect them from themselves in terms of not misusing the platform. So we have sufficient guardrails around that. But remember, AI can also be dangerous in many ways. And I'm always reminded to remind you that AI can also hallucinate. AI can also forget some certain things. And so it requires us to actually be on the deck 24/7 to protect the consumer, protect the youth that are going to actually use this platform, but also protect cybersecurity. That is what we started with. Actually, we started with developing endpoint protection before we actually even evolved to creating Simba. So I can assure you that we are fine with that. I will ask Dan to respond to one of the questions, and then Randy will address the other questions of other LLMs and what sets Simba unique.
About curriculum. First of all, LEASH 2 years ago, in partnership with same Matunga team, we developed a curriculum for AI for Tibet institutions and the guidance of Tibetan Authority, and that is the one now being used by the Tibet institutions. In the same way, LEASH will train us in the Tibet institutions so that they get to the level we are headed, and so that when they go back to their institutions, they can now train the students in the TVET institutions. For LISH to get there, we have also partnered with the local universities, and I'm happy that Dr. Kim Kebut is one of our head researchers and Professor Kuria here. They are part of the team that is guiding LISH technical team as we develop in education. Consequently, there will be no gap in training, and we have a number of partners which we may not mention right now, but we have organizations which we will work with to make sure that this is devolved not only in Nakuru but across the country through the TVET institutions, because already they have ICT equipment.
So, you asked what sets us apart from the others. We have the uniqueness of Simba as far as short-term and long-term memory. There's a difference between the two. Most LLMs today have a memory, but it's only certain user base. Short-term memory being that you can ask it something, 30 days later the chat has disappeared. However, long-term memory being whatever's there will remain in the mind or in the brain of Simba. So when you go back 35 days later and you say, hey Simba, do you remember teaching me how to code in Python? Yes, and here's where we left off. And it will pick right back up where it left off before. Simba can translate in many languages, most of which are very well known, and I think I've only seen one that I've never heard before, and it's unique. It's growing on its own, it's doing it on its own. And the speed of Simba alone sets it apart. Most LLM companies or AI models use GPU to train. It costs thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. We were able to utilize enterprise CPUs to make the same thing happen, but at a more granular level, making it easier for micro training to take place.
The lifeblood of AI, and data will continue to be a critical component of AI. And that is why we have set up in this lab, that is why we have set up in this AI factory a data hub, which will allow us much data to continue to be generated every second, every minute, every hour. And then we'll be looking at how best we can help the youth who are involved in this to monetize that. Now remember, that is not just only going to be happening here in the lab. This opportunity will be open to freelancers as well, such that even your Africa, what do you call that?
Africa Next Voices.
Africa Next Voices will also have an opportunity whereby the data they generate can be brought, of course, technologically, processed, cleaned up, tokenized, and made available without breaching any of the data laws, without creating a challenge to anyone. And I've heard you, and I disagree with this statement that data is the new oil. Data is data. Data is the new life, not just the new oil. We're moving away from that. And remember, let me just take an example of Nation Media or NTV or KTN or anyone here. I mean, all of these media houses. The information that you have picked up here is new data that has never been there before. I want you to understand it that way. The information that you're picking here now is new data that has never been in existence before. Every minute, the news media have new data that is being generated that is not available even for the new, AI models to actually be able to address or to work with. And that is why there is future in data processing, there is future for data scientists, there is future for young people around the world, around Kenya, to actually generate data. And in our own wisdom, we say that we must then create a platform to enable young people, to enable those who create data to actually be able to generate, to monetize it, to get revenue from it. Because this news now becomes new data, and it needs to be very quickly captured, it needs to be processed, it needs to be tokenized, and it needs to be made available to AI engines like Simba, so that when you ask Simba 15 minutes after you have broken the news of the death of Pope, Simba will tell you that, and you ask Simba, who is the Pope of the Roman Catholic Church? 15 minutes after you break the news, Simba should tell you, oh, sorry, you're behind news, the Pope is dead. That is where we actually have to be. And that can only happen when data is processed quickly, every second, every minute. And that is why I keep saying that the jobs that can be created by AI models or on the AI platforms is nearly endless. And so what our engineers and my team is currently, our team is working on, is to ensure that we work out a plan on how this can actually be monetized. And your data that you have will actually fall into that group.
So in terms of mental health and AI, I would beg to differ that it causes more of the mental illnesses. I feel like it gives the young people an opportunity to explore and even learn more about what really happens with the mental illnesses. In terms of information, as Dr. Mark has mentioned, there's so much information out there about mental illnesses, and I'm sure Simba will be there to help and offer solutions that will be used by the young people to cure all these mental illnesses. In terms of loneliness, it helps you to not feel alone. When you're chatting with Simba, when you're asking it questions, it will help you feel heard and feel seen. So I think it is something that will help in terms of mental health.
So I'm Joe Karanja. I head the engineering team here at Fish, and also the team that is developing Simba. So as an engineer, you're given the skill and the resources to build AI. Sometimes AI is a tool, and tools can be used to do good or to do evil. But there are ethics and there are policies that we need to adhere of. And that is what, when we develop AI, we develop responsible AI, and it's not to cause problems, but to solve problems. Maybe I'll also specify on something. Most of us live in this country, and we understand the problems that we face as young people. Over 70% of the population in Kenya is composed of young people. And we have a lot of businesses that need solutions developed for them. So if we target the problems that people are already facing, we are able to develop something that is responsible in a responsible way. And we'll also add that we as the young people need to also keep up with policies that are being raised by the policy makers and develop solutions that are there to bring change. Yeah, because change is here, and we are part of this revolution, and we need to adapt to it, because it's not the strongest species that survives, but the one that adapts to change. And we're here to lead this. Thank you.